Welcome to the Megaport Live Tech Drop-In. My name is Dave Sloan, and I'm here today to run through the Megaport Internet proposition with a quick demo on deploying Megaport Internet within our portal. And then it's worth mentioning that this is part of the ongoing series of Megaport Live Tech Drop-Ins, which cover a whole vast of different subjects in and around the Megaport proposition and how that might work for you. So without further ado, let's move on. So really, I want to cover a little bit about our unique value proposition. And to have some context of what we're talking about and to level set. So Megaport's proposition is based on the concept of network as a service, or NAS. And NAS provides the networking in a way that's much more aligned with cloud subscription models, with services being available on demand and in near real time. NAS provides the underlay building blocks for organizations like yourselves to deploy a whole host of technical solutions to match your operational business requirements. So you might say, well, what does NAS platform do differently? Well, first off, it's at reach. Megaport NAS is part of a virtualized global ecosystem built on pre-existing hardware, and this gives you the ability to deploy capacity to all the well-known cloud service providers, giving access to thousands of IT-based services, as well as having connectivity to 930 data centers across the globe. And this can be done in near real time in a software-defined manner. It has a very predictable performance. It's like having your own private fiber lines. Your data travels on our private global network, our backbone, with no internet components in the core, which is ironic because I'm going to talk about internet, but it's no internet within the core. And then all of these components can be linked together with virtualized network cross connects. We call them VXCs, and they are layer 2 MPLS pseudo wires. All of this has the added benefit of making it highly secure. So also, you pay for only the capacity you wish to deploy. So this is all pre-built and virtualized. You can scale that capacity up and down on demand, and you no longer have to worry about spikes, traffic spikes, or wasted capacity. And this ensures the good end user application performance. The Megaport on-demand components are very versatile, allowing you the ability to launch virtual cross connects across our network to create internet connections to physical ports within data centers, an example, and I'll go through that in more detail, or to connect to devices like virtual routers, virtual firewalls, and virtualized SD-WAN components, which can be built within our core. And this helps facilitate connections to branch locations or to those remote critical resources. And this makes NAS services very cost effective, because this can all be designed and deployed and fully operational in minutes and available for only the term you really need. And this reduces your upfront infrastructure costs to zero, as Megaport assets are virtual and require no capital investment or hardware provisions. And you can design, deploy, manage and monitor it all on a single portal. It's point and click. You can bring your own cloud service keys, and this makes establishing connectivity simple. But for those with more sophisticated needs, both Terraform and API build cords are available for a whole host of deployments and management scenarios. So here's a quick snapshot of our global reach. You can access, as I said, Megaport in over 930 locations across the globe. And please note there are two types of locations. There's an installed location, and these contain Megaport hardware, and there's an enabled location. And these locations share the same campus or metro area as a Megaport installed location. Megaport hardware is not located within an enabled facility, but you can access through private intra-campus or intra-metro cross connects. And as you can see, we've got a really strong presence in NAM, EMEA, and APAC, as well as having presence in locations like Brazil, which are very useful, and Mexico, which are very useful to add to your connectivity requirements. So onto the internet. And here's a quick snapshot of the options that the Megaport Internet service can be delivered to. So first at the top, this particular scenario denotes how we can build diversity in these zones, which I'll go on to talk about later. So for instance, the port on the left-hand side, the blue device, this is a physical connection point to Megaport within a data center. You connect your infrastructure via a cross-connect with capacities ranging from 1 gig to 100 gig. These are available in 930 data centers globally and can be deployed in around 60 seconds for you to receive an LOA and cross-connect your services into that. The next service, the green device on the MCR, this is a Megaport cloud router, and this is a virtual layer 3 routing service represented here as a simplified VRF. It enables seamless traffic exchange between 2 or more cloud environments, including internet connectivity, and it's available in about 90 locations globally. Without requiring physical infrastructure, it acts as a transit point at the edge for multi-cloud or hybrid deployments. And then there's the Megaport Virtual Edge, the red device. And the MVE creates a virtual point of presence very similar to the MCR, but it's an on-demand virtual network function platform, which allows you to deploy SD-WAN gateways, virtual routers, and firewalls using your own license keys from many top vendors. And this is all within minutes. It's also got a coverage in about 90 global locations, and MVEs are ideal for extending your existing SD-WAN or firewall estate to the edge and bridging public and private routing domains together securely. Okay, so what do we offer with the internet proposition? Well, it's immediately scalable and orderable from 20 meg to 10 gig with larger bandwidths available on request. It includes flexible terms, including committed bandwidth on term and increased capacity available by the hour for peaks in internet traffic. It's fully deployable via API and Terraform, and our standard service uses static routing with a single /31 IPv4 address or a /64 IPv6 address range. It's a simple, easy to set up method, ideal for small or predictable networks. And for more sophisticated users, you can bring your own PI space and advertise this using BGP. We offer a range of resiliency options, which were on the previous slide, to improve availability and business continuity. And we can provide additional IP addresses to allow the use of local private ASs, which means you can use BGP even if you don't have your own PI allocation. And we offer default to full table route advertisements. And so I'm going to jump into the Megaport portal and show you quickly how you can provision Megaport Internet to ports in Germany, an MCR in the United Kingdom, and an MVE in the United States. Okay, so I'm just going to pull this across. This is the Megaport portal, as you can see. Okay, if I scroll up, I've created the devices for speed because obviously they take 3-4 minutes per the MVE and the MCR, and the port generally about 60 seconds. However, if I want to create an internet connection, say if I start with the port, which this port is in the diversity zone of red, but we also have multiple chassis in this particular facility, so you can actually also build a completely diverse device in a diversity zone blue. Okay, so all I do here is I create connection. I select Megaport Internet. I select our gateways here, which we have 2. So one is 1 millisecond away to that gateway, or one is completely local within that data center. So I'm going to select that. Click next. Just give it a rate limit. So in this particular instance, I'll give it 20 meg. You're able to shut down the VXC state if you wish to. So if you want to do any maintenance or any services like this or failover testing, you can do that without actually deleting the service. You can also assign your own VLANs. And here are the contractual terms that are available for this service, from rentable by no minimal term all the way through to 36 months. And then rather usefully, you can add API tags if you want to do sorting through API through resources. So it's very versatile. Anyway, we click next there. We add the VXC, review our order, and we validate that order. So that's confirmed that there's capacity there. We order now, and that begins the process of deploying that service. So that's very simple on a port in Germany. Then we move on to the MCR. So this is in Equinix LD5 London. This is in diversity zone blue. And obviously we'll have red diversity zones in those facilities. It's very similar. create the connection, Megaport Internet. In this particular facility, we've got two choices as well, Telehouse North or Digital Realty LRH20. I'm going to go with the one with the lowest latency here. I'll select next. I'll select my rate limit. We'll go for a gig here. I can select all the same terms. I can switch the VXC off in exactly the same way if I choose to. I've got all the same facilities for adding those tags. I click next and basically add the service, so add that VXC. So that's pretty simple, pretty much the same as before. Let's just order that. Okay, so just give that a second. And it's exactly the same with the MVE. So if I demonstrate that very quickly this time, so I'll select Megaport Internet in Chicago this time, scroll down, add next, select my speed, we'll do a gig there as well, why not? All the same features. You can tag this if you choose to, or leave it untagged. Let's ask you which interface you want it assigned to. We've only got one VNIC on this, and all the same monthly rates, tags, click next. We add that VXC, review that order, and just order that service. So while those services are coming up, in the meantime, there's a few things that I can show you. So we just take the MCR, for instance. So if I go into the VXC details here, I can look at the details of the actual service that we've been given. And as you can see here, this is the IPv4 address that you've had assigned. So that's immediately assignable. So you've got that immediately. So you know exactly what IP addressing. So when this service comes up, we're able to ping that and start to use this service immediately. And if you've got it connected to an existing port or MCR, the service will be available immediately. So that's very, very useful. And obviously you've got logs for usage, your billing, what type of usage, so you can monitor those to evaluate whether or not you need to buy more capacity at certain times. And you've got logs about how the service is being deployed. That actually hasn't deployed yet, so there won't be any logs as of yet. So that pretty much covers the demo. If I just close this down now, just shut this off now. So let me just move on. So let's have a quick look and see if we've got any questions at this point. Okay, let's just take a look at those questions. Right, we do have one question, and this came up at the last one, which was, do we support 95th percentile billing? And this one does come up a lot. So Megaport at this current time does not support 95th percentile billing. But what it does is it allows you to commit to a certain bandwidth on term and then flex that up using API or manual configuration in the portal. So this means that you're able to flex what you need at the time you need. Let me just take a look at the other questions. So the next one is, what are the 16 countries that you offer the service in? Well, if you have any interest, please contact your Megaport account team, as we can offer a list and we can offer the full list that's available. But countries that come to mind immediately are US, Brazil, UK, Germany, France, Australia, Singapore, Hong Kong, to name but a few, but there are 16. So it's well worth contacting if you have an interest for that on your existing services or new services. Please contact your Megaport account team, and then we can assist you in making the best selection. So thanks for those questions. So just a quick recap. The Megaport Internet allows your organization to have internet capacity while requiring absolutely no upfront investment from you, from even terms as just as a minimum hourly. It creates an instant point of presence in those 16 countries, and you're requiring a small amount of configuration, and it's great for projects both short and long term. It's very easy to deploy, as you saw, and with easy to follow documentation on our website, but you do have access to the solution architects who will help you configure services if you're new to the Megaport website. So I hope that's been useful, and please look out for any other Megaport live sessions, as they are really great sound bites to see what's going on in the world of cloud and network connectivity. So until then, thank you and goodbye.